Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad there's a few people out there on the internet tuning in. So yeah, we're back this afternoon. Just got home a few minutes ago, so kind of had to rush to get everything together. So if there's any of my new subscribers out there, Tank, Andy, I appreciate the subs. So today, as I'm sure you guys know, since you're watching, I'm going to be doing round 3 of the 110% career mode in the Williams. Hey, what's up, Packus? So yeah, just hoping to just get another solid result. I mean, you guys can see the standings right there. Kimmy has sort of what do you want to say? Dominated, unlike in real life. He's absolutely dominated the first couple of races, including running me off the track in Australia. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go back to Australia and skip towards the end of that video. So before we do start, I'll go ahead and kind of advance everything here and get us into practice. But I just want to give a shout out to my sim racing team, Avachronic Racing. We do have a sort of a young driver type program, so we're merging with another team. And we've always had this this ACR driver academy, but we're really trying to diversify everything. We're bringing in a lot of people from different platforms. So we're looking at going to Race Room. We already have teams in R Factor and F1, obviously, but we're really looking to diversify everything and to go grab people that are interested in Assetto Corsa and Gran Turismo Sport. Race Room, we're definitely looking to get into iRacing, so anybody that's kind of established there or has a foundation there. If you're interested, all you need to do is just follow me on Twitter at ACRRaven, and then send me a direct message if I follow back, or just tweet at me and say you're interested in yeah, and potentially signing up for the team. Yeah, so we're looking to expand pretty much any game out there that has the potential to go esport. Any kind of competition where we're fighting for sponsors and money and all this stuff potentially in the future. Obviously, with some of these events that have happened in the last year or so, we've really there's really a potential for us to grow as a team. So we're looking to carry everything forward. So just yeah, like I said, if you're interested, feel free to contact me or Mitchie Hoyer if you're specifically looking at R Factor 2 and more PC related stuff. That being said, I do race on R Factor 2, and I'm actually going to be racing in a 24-hour event with driver swaps and everything, GT3 and a touring car kind of combination race around around the Nordschleife, the 24-hour circuit here in a couple of weeks. So I'm probably going to be looking at live streaming that. I think that'll be something quite different, but I also think equally, if not much more challenging. But yeah, hopefully some of you guys may be interested in that, whether you're either listening to it live or you're listening to it whenever you play it back later on. So yeah, obviously we've gone through all that stuff from China. Obviously had a really good result there. Got lucky yet again with some very strange bugs, but yeah. So now we're gonna move on to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Start off in practice, do our R&D stuff. Hopefully the the challenges and everything in general are not too crazy. But here's an update from Chris.
The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
All right, well that's awesome news. We actually have our chassis, our weight reduction. So you know it's not really going to make a drastic impact on anything, but you know, our chassis is, I think, effectively the second worst on the grid, if I remember correctly from previous episodes. So that's definitely going to be something, chassis and aero. That's something that Williams struggled with in real life, and obviously that's been brought forward on the game as well. So let's take a look. We don't have enough resource points to really do anything at the moment, so there's really not any reason to look at it. So we just let's just go ahead and jump into first practice here at Bahrain and get some on-track action here.
Welcome to the deserts of Bahrain, where the Formula One circus has rolled into
I'll let you guys
town.
listen to Crufty's little intro.
On track shortly to start today's practice session. Now then, Anthony Davidson, there's been a lot of
runaway
talk over
championship
the last
leader.
few weeks about track limits. How much is too much when you're cutting
I didn't realize
corners
Paul
and
Gilles
running
is a
wide?
Formula One engineer.
What are your thoughts on this? And do you think we'll be seeing drivers pushing those limits this weekend?
If anybody
Well, I'd be
saw him,
disappointed if we
he's
didn't,
F1
frankly.
game designer.
If race
But
control want to clamp down on
I love how they
drivers
put themselves
track,
in
then it's up to them to police it.
in the game. I think
As
that
a
is pretty cool.
driver,
Hey, look,
you're getting paid
there
to
I
get your
am.
car around the circuit as quickly as possible, don't forget. So if you're not pushing those limits, if you're ignoring the
Interesting how I'm
advantageous
sitting there
ride,
looking at
then you're not doing your job
track
properly.
data and lap
Now,
analysis, and we
I
haven't even
agree
done a
that,
lap
you know,
around
we
the
have
circuit
these
at all
white
this
lines there
weekend.
for a
But
reason,
whatever.
and we do want to see those
Suspension of
limits
disbelief and all.
For me, it's not a driver's responsibility.
Man,
to do
Kimmy
that.
put on a helmet and jumped in his car awfully damn fast there. All right.
We're going to be logging some extra data during this session. Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts, we'll just confirm they're performing to spec.
Alright, so I honestly have no idea what, whether or not there's like any extra tests or anything like that because of the extra parts or the new parts that are in the car, the under tray. So we'll see. I do think I probably am just gonna go ahead and run. I'm gonna run the internal combustion engine all the way through until before qualifying. Probably practice 3. I need to remember to.
Right, I'll get these changes made.
I need to remember to actually swap out the ICE and just run the new engine for qualifying in the race. I really think from this point forward, our first engine here, I'm just going to use it as a practice engine. So I will lose some time having to swap back and forth and whatnot, but I want to kind of keep our race engines, our qualifying and our race engines, kind of as fresh as possible. And I'm not sure really of any other way to manage it any better. I'm sure I'll kind of figure it out. And like I said before, if you're listening to it live, then feel free to comment and just kind of let me know if there's anything I should be looking at or thinking about in terms of managing the gearboxes and the power units, other than what I've already said. Alright, so we got the setup loaded that we used in the AOR League race, which, you know, to fairly good effect. A qualified P3, probably could have been thereabouts with pole, but just wasn't able to get the lap together in the end. But still had a pretty good result. Managed to finish second in the race after a penalty was given out. So yeah, no further tests or additional tests or anything to test out the new parts. So yeah, let's go ahead and just head out on track, and let's go ahead and knock these R&D tests out as soon as we can, and so we can get on to qualifying in the race. Hopefully I've actually got force feedback. I literally haven't done a single lap on here at all today, but yeah, everything feels okay so far. It should be good to go. Wow, there's just absolutely no grip at all. Back end is just absolutely everywhere there. Combination of practice 1, no track evolution at all, and these medium tires are, yeah, just really not very good. It's actually kind of hard to see some of these gates to drive through, just because of the amount of glare and how bright the sun is here during this practice session. I will say, kind of an interesting thing about this practice, now that they do this actual Grand Prix in real life at night, there's a lot of the teams, and I think some of the drivers have actually been rather outspoken about the absolute kind of uselessness of this practice session. Of course, I missed a gate, not really paying attention. That's fine, I've got another couple laps. Just because it is kind of in the blazing heat in the middle of the day, whereas the race is sort of in the you know, the twilight kind of sunset, and then racing into the dark under the lights. So the track temperatures, obviously during a session like this, which is kind of in the middle of the afternoon, would be a little bit pointless. I kind of agree, but unfortunately it can't really do a whole lot, can we, about the sun rising and falling, and we can't, unless the F1, unless the FIA or FOM or whoever's in control of sessions and durations and start times, unless they want to just give like a really long practice session, like a 3-hour practice session instead of 2 1.5-hour ones, then yeah, I don't think there'll really be any change on that. But you never know with the new Formula 1 management and everything. There are kind of some interesting discussions from Ross Brawn, the former Ferrari head man, the boss there. He, or I guess head technical officer, because Jean Todt was the team boss, team principal. But interesting that he's talking about eliminating Fridays from the Formula 1 calendar. Personally, I've never been to a Grand Prix, so I have no idea. I have no idea what the actual real benefit is to Fridays, other than for the teams. Obviously, the new management has been trying to make those Fridays a bit more entertaining, and trying to bring the drivers out or put the fans in front of the cars a bit more to make it worth your while to come on Fridays. So it's interesting that they're contemplating eliminating them altogether. Don't know if that would be the decision I would go with, but obviously if it's only a 2-day event, then it keeps things rather compact, and you obviously have 2 kind of headline events, your qualifying and your race. So if you're able to limit it to a 2-day weekend, and then you force, or not really force the fans, but you're going to give a fans one of the 2 sort of marquee events, and they're not going to essentially have a they're not going to come on a day that where they may not feel necessarily like they got much of a torpedoes just sat there, nearly ran into them. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Ross Brawn and Chase Carey and the rest of the new FOM management, what they do with the sport besides the engine regulations. So if anyone's listening that hasn't heard, apparently they're just going to simplify the current engine regs, so they're going to stay with the is it 1.6 liter V6. I'm not really sure. Single turbo. They're just going to make them less complicated, have more standardization of parts and components and the combustion chambers and all that, so that there's no crazy spending from, hey, what's up, Adam? There's no crazy spending from the likes of Mercedes and Ferrari and whatnot. And maybe one of these days I'll get back on FSR.
Okay, that's the end of the program and plenty of useful data. Return to base when you can, so we can go up.
So that's good. Went ahead and return to the garage, and then we'll move on to the next step. Tire management. Yeah, it's probably not going to be easy to save the tires here in practice 1, but yeah, we may as well give it a shot, see if we can knock out all these freaking R&D things early on. But yeah, since you brought up FSR and R Factor, if you didn't catch earlier, I am actually going to be doing a 24-hour Nürburgring event here in a couple of weeks on RF2, so I'll be heading back to it. I've just kind of, I don't know, lost interest in FSR this year. I think kind of the same case could be said for a lot of people. So I don't know if I'll be returning in 2018, but you never know. You know, kind of the expansion that ACR will be doing over the next couple of months into the beginning of 2018. We're definitely going to be looking at bringing in more drivers and cross over to more platforms, like I said right at the beginning. So yeah, just trying to be like ridiculously gentle on acceleration on everything, so just try to bump it up to rich here, even though I'm sure it'll wear the tires a little bit more. I need to try to bring back this Delta a little bit. A lot of wear through there, even though I was lifting. Alright, so I'm way too no, it's actually not VEC. But VEC is actually that's actually one thing I didn't mention. That's actually something that ACR is looking to expand into, and endurance racing in particular is something that I've always wanted to do. It's I sort of always liked it since the days of Gran Turismo, growing up as a kid. I love doing those endurance races, and then obviously when the granddaddy of all the endurance races came in there, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the crazy Nordschleife, Nürburgring races, and like Gran Turismo 4, those are the ones that really were ingrained sort of in my memory. Just remember leaving my PlayStation on for hours and hours and hours, if not days, for some of those events. Like as a kid, I was like always paranoid, like, oh my god, I left my PlayStation on all day, all night, and you know, hopefully I don't burn my parents' house down or anything crazy because I left the PlayStation on, trying to complete a 24-hour race on Gran Turismo. But yeah, those were some fun days for sure. Yeah, I haven't even looked into getting the new Gran Turismo, but I tried to make up a little bit of time at the final corner. Still got one more lap to try to make this happen. I nearly got it there. Hey, what's going up, TD? What's going on? Just trying to do this tire wear test, which I'm kind of failing at the moment. practice 1 at Bahrain. Not exactly an easy test. I've actually been good on the actual wear. It's just being within the delta, the target lap time. So I just need to push it, I think, a little bit more here on this lap. Not really worry too much about saving the tires. Just driving around so slow because I don't want to just accidentally wheel spin or lock up or do anything that will send that bar up there on the top of the screen way over to the left. But now that I got it in rich all the way for this lap, I think I should be okay. That's interesting. I got wheel spin on that corner exit there, and the meter actually still went up purple. So interesting, Codemasters. Yeah, I've definitely got to get it done here on this lap because otherwise I'll have to restart the test, and I'll also run out of fuel. Got a little bit of wheel spin there, but nothing too crazy. So that's awesome.
That's all we need for now. Return.
Another successful test. Thank you, Jeff. Alright, so fuel saving. Always my favorite thing about Formula 1 nowadays. Jesus Christ, that's extremely sarcastic. When it comes to F1, it's an hour and a half. It's a sprint race. You know, they try to make the cars super fast, which I do like how fast the cars are in 2017. But I don't like fuel saving at all. I really don't like it. I think it just goes against the grain, against the nature of a driver. You're not really taught a lot of those skills whenever you kind of come up through the ranks. So, and then all of a sudden some of these newer drivers just get thrown into F1, and then, oh yeah, you got a lifting coast, and you have to manage tires, manage brakes, manage this, manage that, and in order to get to Formula 1, all they did was push everything to the nth degree. Obviously, it's still somewhat entertaining to watch, otherwise I would completely stop watching it. So for the people that are watching there, what year do you guys think that Verstappen will win his first title? Because obviously it's inevitable at some point, unless he inherits Fernando's incredibly bad luck with not being at the right team at the right time. Guessing some of you will probably say next year. Which is definitely possible. Try to do a little bit of short shifting here, or at least more of that down the last lap.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
See if there's any way I can manage to get purple here and still get within the target time. Down by 1/10.5 here, just trying to get trying to get back within the delta time. I really don't think I'm going to manage to do it though. I had a feeling the tests here, the R&D tests, would be pretty difficult compared to some of the other ones. Yeah, it's a shame. Just over a 10th off, but oh well. We'll give it one more lap. Biggest thing is just trying to shift, or not trying, but just thinking about shifting at like 11,000 RPM. Just not something that I inherently want to do in league racing and all that. Use 6 of components, got a ton of penalties. Yeah, that's kind of the thing I wanted to avoid, but we'll see. I was thinking about putting a new combustion engine in for this race, actually, or for qualifying in the race, because I think it was already at like 40-something%. So, wow. So this is actually proven to be pretty difficult. Just clawed back here, like right at the end. Oh wow. Optimal fuel. So do we actually get the purple? That'd be incredibly lucky if I did. Would have just, wow, I did, awesome. So I don't know if I would call that perfect, but at least at least Jeff gave it to me. Alright, so that's good. I don't have to worry about doing these team objectives until I actually get to qualifying this time. Let's see, so... Since we have a brand new set of softs, we may as well just go ahead and do the race strategy. Get it out of the way. It'd be nice to actually sort of push the car at this point, instead of just driving around like a complete buffoon, lifting and coasting, trying to save fuel and not wanting to wheel spin at all. It's always kind of tricky there at turn 2, whether or not to cut over the inside. I do have it on strict corner cutting, so I can't get away with many corner cutting shenanigans. There's obviously still a couple of places on certain circuits where you can get away with it, but yeah, since about 2011, 2012, yeah, I've kind of learned my lesson when it comes to track limits. Don't be a douche. So. Oh yeah. When it comes to tire strategy, yeah, pretty much in the 50% races for the AOR league that I race in, yeah, I mean, we've already figured out one stops are just the way to go. Like if it's possible, even if it's only just possible. It's just absolutely the best thing to do. But yeah, apart from my sort of incessant ability to lock up on this game, maybe once or twice a lap when I'm pushing, I can normally stretch the tires pretty far. I've got a fairly good, thanks to that understeer enhance setting in the menu on this game. I can really kind of feel where the limit of the grip is on the front tires. So kind of able to save tires whenever I need to, which I wasn't really able to do on F1 2016 or some of the games prior to that. So it's something I mentioned on Twitter, speaking of tires. Why is it that on this game you can only set a fast lap on ultra softs on like your first or second lap, but yet you look at the Mexican Grand Prix this past weekend, and frankly pretty much every Grand Prix throughout this season, and the drivers are actually able to set, you know, just better and better and better lap times on their tires. You know, as the fuel load decreases, there's like basically no tire deg. So that's kind of interesting. Seeing Vettel and Verstappen on like 30 lap old tires, ultras and supers, and they're sitting there like trading fastest laps back and forth right towards the end of the race. That is definitely something that's not even remotely possible on this game. I'm not sure if I really would want them to change it to that, because then I think if the tires basically had no deg, then especially when it comes to like an online league racing environment, everybody would just qualify on the softest tire like normal, and then proceed to basically do like 95% of the race, if not all of the race, on the tire they qualified on, and then just pit with like a lap or two to go. I really don't think that would be a very fun environment to league race in. I mean, there isn't really a whole lot of tire strategy difference at the moment, but there is the possibility of it at certain circuits, I would say. So if they were to actually make the tires like real live, yeah, it would just be a slam dunk one stop every race, and the strategies would be extremely predictable. Alright, sweet. So we got our purple for that as well, another maximum R&D test. So apart from barely squeaking by on the fuel and on the tire management, yeah, the track acclimatization took me a few laps, but obviously that's the whole point of the damn thing, acclimatization. So yeah, the only thing we got left is qualifying pace. Expectation, or the objective, is 11th, which is kind of lower than I would figure that they would calculate it. I mean, I think we're quite clearly the third or fourth, or probably fourth best car, pretty solidly, even ahead of Force India.
5 minutes remaining in the session.
Let's see. We'll save qualifying pace. We'll skip all the way to FP3, and then we'll do the qualifying pace there. Hopefully, get that on the first lap, or at least on the first run.
Top three again are Vettel, Raikkonen, and Valtteri Bottas. That concludes an interesting practice session. Let's hope for more excitement as.
At least in general, we seem to actually be a little bit further down the order, I think, than we have been in previous FP1s. So that's a good thing, because I mean, I pretty much wasn't pushing it all there. No low fuel runs or anything crazy trying to chase for lap times. Alright, so got 255 points. I mean, I think that's pretty much about the maximum, apart from doing that one other test. It's pretty much about the maximum we could have achieved. So yeah, but now we got turbo, and we have the MGUH now on Yellowware. So I really don't know if anyone out there still watching wants to let me know whether or not I should just stay with these components. Then, you know, for the rest of this weekend and just wait until Russia, or if I should just go ahead and start swapping these power units around, seeing if I can actually have better overall performance in qualifying, because I really don't want to risk scoring points in the race. I'd much rather, you know, take penalties or start further down the grid than which I've kind of already figured that's what I'm gonna have to do, at least in this first season, or maybe two. I don't really have much expectation to be able to go the entire season and only use 4 of each component. Alright. So yeah, like I said, we'll go ahead and skip practice 2, because we only have one more program to run.
Look at the classification at the end of the session, then. Here are your top 3.
So Felipe is P9, but he is 2 seconds off the pace, so that's not really very encouraging. But then again, I think Felipe was very far off the pace in the first couple of races in terms of practice and quali. Did a much better job at China, so I have to give his AI some credit for bringing together a one-stop and a very good race and getting P5 at China. So still got 10 R&D points even for just going in and pressing retire. I will take it. All right, let's go ahead and go on to practice 3. Yeah, that's probably a good. That's kind of what I was thinking of, TD, to be honest. Since Russia has all those straightaways, and maybe I should just go ahead and stick with the components for now, and then do practice at Russia on these components I'm running now, and then before qualifying, switch over to the new components. I think that's probably the way I'll go. All right. Enough rambling about engine components and power unit components and all this crap. Let's see what we can do. Not really expecting any kind of miracles here, but hopefully we can at least get purple and get our maximum R&D points. Interesting that I'm actually losing a little bit of time on the straightaway here. That's a really messy turn 4. We still made up a little bit of time going through that section. Hey, I'm running the ballast on 8. So I'm tempted maybe to drop that to 7. Just because this car really just doesn't have enough grip to be able to kind of hang with the corners. Not good. I'm already a tenth and a half down. I think the engine wear is actually causing me to be. It's just causing me to lose, time on the straight. Basically, anytime it's a flat-out section. So that really sucks not being able to make up time there. So I'm having to make it up in the corners. Let's see if I can get far enough ahead, though. I think if I can just go into that final corner with sort of a couple of tenth margin, I might be able to hang on to it. Hey Don, thanks for the sub. Watch out, it's Ricardo. Don't let him get you. Damn. Still can't quite get it. Alright, yeah, I've already lost way too much time here. Just through the first couple of corners. I don't know. I really don't know whether or not I should really even attempt this again, because I'm really just adding more stress to the engine than I've already done. Yeah, it's a shame that I missed out just by ever so slight margin. It would have been nice to at least get the 30 points. Let's just try it one more time. We'll get 2 more laps, and then if we still don't do it, then I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Sure, we have plenty of other opportunities to get R&D points throughout the season. Our perfect streak was always going to come to an end at some point. But yeah, I think the goal here is, let's just see if we can at least get the green. I think with the engine being down on power, there's just really no hope at all in being able to actually get the purple time, which would need to be multiple tenths, probably 4, 5, 6 tenths under this 131.8 that they want us to get at the moment. And we have a car behind us already. I'm not really sure who that is. Hopefully not somebody that's going to be trying to overtake me. Yeah, so even though I am locking the fronts there, it's really not costing me any time. As weird as that may sound. That one, I will say, definitely cost me a little bit of time. Just depends on whether or not it actually pushes you past the apex. Otherwise, then you can sort of get away with it. That was nowhere near as good as I'd hoped, but I am probably about a tenth or a tenth and a half higher up than I was last time, so I just sacrificed a little bit of time there, being gingerly. Alright, so I have about a quarter second, or just under a quarter second coming into the final corner here. Incredible amount of glare going into that corner. Kind of hard to see the braking zone, but alright, cool. I think we'll just about get it, and we do have a Ferrari behind us. Alright, yeah, I just don't want to push the I don't want to push the engine any further. Actually, I saw the purple 31.4. I mean, if I'd have got a perfect lap, I'm sure I could have gotten it, but I don't want to burn out the power unit components here even earlier than I need to. So 260 out of 285. It's not bad. So yeah, didn't get an optimal sector 3 time in the qualifying pace, but yeah, it is. Run your qualifying run in Q3, get a slipstream from the car behind. So you don't get much dirty air. I don't know though, because the slipstream on this game is kind of non-existent. And yeah, I really don't like cars being in front of me. I mean, I guess if it's a Mercedes or a Ferrari or something that's just gonna pull away, then maybe having it down the in the first sector or something will be useful. But yeah, let's go ahead and we're already 45 minutes in. Let's go ahead and retire, and then we'll move on.
Interesting practice session there. Then let's remind ourselves of the top three.
Move on to qualifying.
Vettel, Raikkonen, and Daniel Ricciardo. That's it for practice. Then we'll see you again soon.
Wow, we actually kind of swapped places with Felipe. He was kind of juggling right around P10 in the earlier practices, and now he's back to where we were, about 16th. All right. Alright, so how many R&D points do we have? 539.
Hi, it's Emma. Your qualifying goals came up in the board meeting this morning. Here's what to expect.
Qualifying 8th or higher. Well, that's definitely some pretty steep expectations there. With a car that's kind of down on power, but yeah, obviously we'll give it our best shot. I don't expect any kind of a miracle China qualifying where we're up there battling with the top teams, because it seems like the AI are definitely a lot faster around here than China. Let's look at the R&D tree here real quick. See, I still think it's worth going after this control electronics wear. You know, or maybe ICE wear. I'm thinking of going with one of those two. I'm not exactly sure. Just to try to bring a bit of reliability back. The control electronics would help lower the durability across the board on all components, but obviously the ICE would be better in terms of maintaining power, even as the ICE got a bit of wear on it. Let's see, what does it actually say in terms of actually doesn't have, hold on, recommended upgrade. Doesn't seem to be working. So anyways, let's just go ahead and head on to qualifying, and we'll just do our best. Team wants us to get P8. I'm not entirely confident that's about to happen.
We hope you're ready, as qualifying is about
No, I'm not really ready, Crofty, but we're going to give it our best shot.
I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions. Anthony Davidson, how can a driver adjust their approach to gain those critical extra tenths of a second?
Well,
turn the engine up to mix 4. I mean, I think that's that's a clear thing. I mean, unless you're in a Renault or a Mac Honda.
That's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
Alright.
Okay, you should be able to get into the next qualifying session easily, so try to get a hot lap in early so we can save the tyres.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much just going to follow Jeff's advice on this one. So we got 3 sets of supers, a set of softs, and another set of supers if we make it to Q3. So I got 57 laps in terms of expected lifespan. Safety car is still bugged. Yeah, that not very surprising, is it? Only Codemasters can manage to do that. Alright, so let's see what we can do. I think maybe just getting into Q3 will be rather tough with the engine seemingly quite down on power. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've got 2 extra sets for Q2, so hopefully I can get through. Hopefully I can get through Q1 here. I'm just using 1 set of supers. As the baguette sets the pace early on, 30.7. No idea if that'll be achievable in this car. A bit too much curve there at the first corner. You really don't want to touch that inside curve at all. Only good thing is we're actually up on Grosjean through the first sector. Vettel into the 28s. That's already a bit of a crazy marker thrown down straight away in Q1. I messed up that corner a little bit.
Fuel is marginal. We're close to using up the load. Pit in within 2 laps.
Really don't understand the point, Jeff, in you telling me I'm low on fuel in qualifying. Really don't understand it. So we get a 30.6. Actually ends up being behind Grosjean in the end due to my mistakes. But we were ahead of Kvyat. Yeah, I'm not sure if that run will actually be enough. Well, I think to get out of Q1 we should be more than fine, but to get out of to get into Q3 probably not going to be enough. Okay, so we were only a few hundreds behind Grosjean, 0.3 behind Hulkenberg, half a second behind Perez. So yeah, definitely a lot of work to do in order to get into Q3. Yeah, I think if I can't even make it into Q3, I might just go ahead and take some new components, and maybe just start at the back and just try to work my way forward. Alright, let's see how far I'm dropping down here. So Felipe is down in 14th. He was a couple of tenths slower than me. I'm going to skip ahead, but I really hope I don't have to go out for a second run. Otherwise, I'm only going to have 1 set of tires here for Q2. I'd imagine most of these guys are probably at the maximum of their pace anyways, so it shouldn't really have too much to fear in terms of dropping out. Yeah, should be good. Felipe's actually, he was a lot closer to getting dropped than I was. Yeah, so he was actually only good by 0.2 of a second. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, let's move on to Q2. We'll have 2 runs at it. 2 stabs, I'm sure, to just completely screw up, but we'll see. Let's just make sure I know should be on a new set of tires. So I mean, we're down to 54 laps here on the power unit, so I really can't afford to run too many more laps because that thing is going to be incredibly worn by the end of this race. Yeah, I think Russia we're just gonna have to just go over to go over to Power Unit 2 on pretty much everything. Alright. Alright. Gonna stay quiet during these runs just to see, just try to concentrate as much as I can to get some laps. It's actually gonna have to think about it and concentrate this time, unlike China. Alright, got away with the corner cut there at the, or very close to getting a corner cut at the final corner. That was at least a marginally better lap than I did in Q1. So we'll go ahead and let's go over to the timing. Let me make sure I actually got a setup on the thing in case it didn't just revert it back to default. No. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I think my power unit, because I mean this is a 28 lap race, and my power unit's going to be pretty much down to almost nothing whenever we get to the end. So yeah, let's make sure we get a new set of tires. Alright, so we're still P6, but not good to see Perez doing a 29.7. So I'm actually quicker than him in the first sector, but I'm losing 3/10 in the final sector. I'm sure I can maybe find another 10th, but I think I'm losing that pretty much entirely on power. My middle sector was okay as well, so yeah, he's gaining an absolute crazy amount of time on me. In areas that just have a lot of straight line. So we drop back to 7th, Felipe's 10th. I'm still about 2/10 in front of him, just like I was in Q1. Yeah, I guess really all we can do here is just accelerate time until we get, yeah, with about 3 minutes left, and then we'll head back out for our second run. So we're just barely clinging on here to 9th place. So yeah, this is going to be pretty much a do or die run. I probably could get through. I don't know if there's really anybody below that could really usurp my 9th position, but I also don't want to be sitting in the garage and get knocked out when maybe I could find another 10th or 2 that could get me into Q3. But also, I was going to say, starting 11th is really not the worst thing in the world. 47 seconds left, so this is it. Pretty much just one lap of fuel. So we're right on the borderline here, making it into Q3. Not really a very good final corner, but enough to, yeah, bring us up to P9. So we are into Q3. We'll have one set of tires to do a run there. So we'll probably skip. We'll skip to the end, as Felipe actually did manage to go, yeah, a quarter second faster in the end. But yeah, we got both of us into Q3, so I will take it. Yeah, down to 50 laps. Alright. It's a good thing that seems like the in and out laps aren't actually counting towards to kind of the overall dig. It's only counting the actual hot laps. Since I only have one set as kind of a do or die, I'm gonna be at the back of the top 10 no matter what. We'll go ahead and skip pretty much right to the end. And yeah, we'll go back out again with about 3 minutes remaining. All right, so 30.8 is what I have to try to strive for to be what Felipe did, at least in the first run. Oh wow. It puts me right behind Felipe. Alright then. Didn't think we were supposed to be doing any of this crazy stuff until Monza. That's fine. Probably could have stuck with him there to stay in the slipstream, but I really don't want to be too close to him. Hoping maybe I'll get some slipstream off from here, sort of right towards the end of the lap. a very good final corner. And what was that, P8? Sweet. So we managed to do a 30.0. Probably could have done a 29 with a perfect lap, but
before we go, let's quickly
I'll
remind
take it.
ourselves of our top three, who are Hamilton, Vettel, and Kimi Räikkönen. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted
Oh,
for
yeah,
the Grand
appreciate
Prix
that,
tomorrow,
Ross.
so make sure you join us then.
Just yeah, let everybody know on just tag everybody in the ACR Discord, just so everybody is aware kind of what the ideal thing is. But yeah, that's awesome. We got P8, so we got team objective, and we managed to beat Felipe. So I will take that. I mean, that's the absolute minimum that we need to shoot for. Let's see what the race objectives are. I swear, if it's finishing any higher than P8, that's going to be a tall order. I'm confident that we can make some gains, sort of at the. We can make some gains at the beginning, off the start and through the first lap, but. All right, it's a good thing Felipe didn't actually better his best lap there. Okay. All looking good.
Hello. I just wanted to pass on the team's expectations for this race. Good luck.
So, still finish P8 and finish ahead of Felipe. And overall in the championship P9, I think we can definitely achieve that. That's for sure. Alright, let's just take one final look at our engine wear. So we got 48 laps left in terms of, I guess, overall power unit. Thinking maybe doing the ICE wear, reducing it by 30%. I'm thinking that's what we should do. Alright. I really don't want to only be able to do 2 races before I have to worry about the engine performance dropping off so dramatically that I'm barely able to get into Q3 when it was really easy to do it at China. All right. So yeah, we'll hopefully nothing will explode during this race. But let's go ahead and get it started. I think pretty much our optimal strategy here is just to run to about lap 8, lap 9, and
there's something in the Bahrain air tonight. We're almost ready to go then.
And then we'll switch over to the mediums, and we'll do the rest of the race.
On pole position and starting alongside in P2.
So Lewis with a crazy lap time, 28.1.
Räikkönen, Bottas,
that's like
Max Verstappen, and
top
Ricardo,
of the best
Perez,
league racers in the world.
Williams,
I mean, that's only
Massa,
like a few
and
tenths off them,
Esteban
so
Grosjean,
it's pretty crazy.
Hulkenberg, Carlos Sainz, and Magnussen, Kvyat, Palmer, Fernando Alonso, and Pascal Wehrlein. Ericsson and Stoffel van Dorn completes the grid. And now...
Alright.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
So you always want to overfuel a little bit. Might not be the best thing for engine wear, but I really don't care. I mean, seriously? A 3-stop and then low tire wear management a 4-stop? I don't think so, Williams. I really don't think so. Alright, so let me go ahead and edit this. Switch this over, go to medium, pit. Saying only going to lap 8. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to do the same thing as last time. Just that's as far as I can. That's that's as far as I can actually push it on the strategy here on the pit lap. But yeah, we'll try to go to at least 9, and then we'll see where we can go from there. Gonna try not to run too much mix 3 in this race because I don't want to freaking detonate the engine before the end of it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. If you haven't subbed already, I would appreciate if you consider doing that. I'm gonna try to do these streams maybe a couple of times a week. So maybe by you know, the end of the year, we'll probably be able to run through the whole season. Really, really bad start. Just getting sandwiched there. AI had no idea. AI had no idea what they were doing there. But thankfully, Hulkenberg and Verstappen decided to run into each other on the exit of turn 3. So at least got a couple positions back. Like I've said before, no restarts or anything in this, so whatever chaos ensues at the start of the races, we just got to deal with it. So Verstappen definitely didn't get definitely not in the position that he wants. Being stuck behind both the Force Indias. So yeah, the AI balancing just, when it comes to pace, just seems to still be completely all over the place. The AI had no pace at all at China, and I was able to really almost exploit that for a pretty crazy result in this car. Then the engine gets a little bit of wear, and we go to Bahrain, and all of a sudden our Renault is basically challenging us. Yeah, the guys in front are already stretching away. I think this is pretty much just going to be a race of looking in the mirrors. As there is really just not a whole lot that I think I'll be able to do here, unless the AI do some asinine strategy like the like my engineer was recommending me do a 3 or 4 stop in the strategy menu there before the race. Yeah, Felipe got back by Hulkenberg, so we're pretty much about where we qualified, just both of us one position further down. Not really driving that well at the moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and let Felipe go. No point in holding him up. Oh my god, seriously? I hate how the AI just sit on the outside of corners and stuff. As soon as they're offline, they just don't do anything, and then I got Hulkenberg ramming into the back of me. I don't know if I picked up damage whenever I hit the back of Felipe there at turn 2.
We're accumulating some wear on the MG UK. We need to stay out of rich fuel mode to manage it.
I said, the AI just have way too much pace around here. I'll be lucky if I can just get away with scoring a point. Felipe is just stretching away, and I pretty much just have no pace at all in this kart. But we'll see what we can do in terms of strategy. Yeah, our engine is actually orange now, so it's probably a good thing that I did buy that, or I did spend our R&D points on the ICE wear, because we're at 75%. There, we're just losing an absolute heap ton of straight line performance. It's like we're driving around in a McLaren Honda. Except, still not even as bad as that. Williams Road to Glory. I'm assuming that's what RTG stands for. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Just trying to bring them back to a respectable level. Although at the moment, cruising around with a 75% worn engine, I'm not going to be making Williams return to the top step of the podium anytime soon. Even though we really didn't come too far away at China. Alright, so we got Felipe already pitting at the end of lap 5. Several of the AI cars already did.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
That's just what I wanted to hear, Jeff. Already had a crazy amount of wear. Now we got even more. Yeah, even if the engine melts out, I mean.
Okay, there's a fair amount of wear to the engine now. Just be aware. I'm keeping an eye on it.
I've already said that this lap, Jeff. I'm hoping that Hulkenberg and some of these other guys pit. I'm just dropping off in pace, and of course he's still not pitting. So Hulkenberg is probably only going to do a 2-stop. Now I really do feel like Fernando Alonso at Bahrain as I nearly run into the back of Hulkenberg. That's pretty sad. I'm sitting here getting overtaken by Julian Palmer. As the torpedo here dives down the inside. Managed to go back around the outside of him here. Yeah, I was thinking the Mercedes kind of reliability would be enough to where I wouldn't have to worry about buying the engine wear upgrades. Yeah, I think we're doing well enough on tire wear here to make a one-stop happen. So unless the engine decides to detonate before the end of the race, I think we'll be good here to do a one-stop. Yeah, but if I got Nico Hulkenberg freaking shooting past me halfway down a straightaway, that's when I know. That's when I know the power unit is not doing too well. Using rich revs too much. I mean, I basically haven't used it whatsoever in this race.
We've reached a worrying level of wear on the internal combustion engine. Let's try and keep the revs down. Early upshifts, later downshifts.
Okay, Jeff. I think I'm gonna go at least one more lap. I'm thinking probably 2 though. We got Palmer pitting. Yeah, it'll be good to have a 30% reduction in IC wear at Russia. Maybe that'll get the engine wear sort of in line with the rest of the components. We got Kimmy and guessing that's yeah, it's Bottas just pretty much climbing all over the back of me. Or no, it's actually both of the Ferraris. Pardon me. Oh. Let's just go ahead and pit then. Is that one of another Mercedes actually pitting? Interesting.
Go, go, go. You'll be racing on the exit.
So yeah, we're going to be well outside the points here.
One more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
But since we're not going to stop again, let's just hope that we can stretch the tires and the engine will get there. So Felipe must have he must have went on to another set of supers and just did another 5-lap stint. I mean, if I can get the AI to do a 3-stop here, we might be all right. Oh God. A 3-car train behind us. I thought we had both Haas's and then had Botas in the Mercedes as well. It was already right behind us again. Yep. Yeah, I think we'll, depending on how much that second IC wear upgrade costs, we might just go ahead and get that too. It's kind of our next thing. Because I really don't want to worry about engine performance. That's pretty much the only good thing about this car. Not good aero, not good chassis. So we need to at least have the engine working all the time here. If we don't, then this is the exact result that we're going to get. He's got the Haas duo here in front of us, battling it out. I'm sure Gunther Steiner is cringing on the pit box. That guy's got one of the weirdest accents I've ever heard. As we got back within DRS range, Felipe's a few seconds behind us, having already made a second stop. I'm sure he will catch up to us in no time at all. Yeah, I had a feeling this race would be a bit more difficult. Did not in any conceivable way did I think it was going to be this difficult. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the only objective I'm going to be able to pass here is being able to beat Felipe. But yeah, that was pretty much the plan, was to use a new engine, but I was hoping that I would be able to stretch this one for this race and not have to worry about it until we got to Russia. But my dreams have been completely squashed. And obviously now I know kind of how much pace difference it makes as Felipe is locking up, making an ass of himself as he normally does when he's on track battling with other drivers. Yeah, unless the IC just wants to randomly explode here, I think percentage-wise we'll be more than fine to get to the end, but the thing was already second-hand by the time we got to qualifying.
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control.
Alright, Felipe, this time you better not freaking lock up. And of course he does. I don't know why the AI brakes so early for that corner. Really, for a lot of these corners. Yeah, I think wear-wise will be, should be more than fine to make it to the end on tires.
We're considering switching to an alternate strategy.
No, Jeff.
To change or stick to plan
No, no. Bad Jeff. With an engine that's probably like 100 horsepower down. Gonna happen. You dare me to do cockpit? I drive an FSR on R Factor 2. I have to drive in cockpit on there. Want to see me driving cockpit, then feel free to go to the Formula Sim Racing channel. Yeah, it just feels like I'm driving around a, I don't know, like a little two-stroke Yamaha, like, motorcycle engine. But we'll just have to suffer through the pain. of this race, and then we'll put in all new components for Russia. We'll have a nice, healthy ICE that'll also have 30% less engine wear. But yeah, if I'd have known the engine wear was actually going to be this bad, that would have been I would have bought that general durability upgrade and then bought the ICE upgrade straight away, but I might have been able to save the engine so it wasn't a complete pile of shit as it is right now. Up to nearly 80%. But yeah, I think we're being caught by the salvers at the moment, so oh, how the fortune turns for for the Williams team. Almost like 2012, we go from winning a Grand Prix to not being able to finish a Grand Prix, but I think that was mainly because they had pretty much two incompetent drivers during that season. One a little bit more belligerent than the other, obviously. Felipe's not really pulling away too much either, so I can only guess that that he's probably driving around on a wounded power unit as well. Yeah, I may end up actually doing that at Russia, just going ahead and taking a whole new cycle as well, but I don't know. I might just save that for the for a circuit that we're gonna struggle at. Maybe a Spain or whatever, because I definitely want to have, say, a fresh power unit whenever we get to Canada, and I'll probably take a new one there, Canada and Baku, which I want to say Baku is before Canada. See, they're right next to each other though on the calendar. You know that. It's not a normal Mercedes engine. I see wear up to 80%. Yeah, it's pretty pathetic goal of, oh, let's just beat the Salvers. I guess the McLarens and the Salvers that are battling from, 15th and whatnot downward. Felipe's actually pulled away quite ahead, quite a good ways now. Nope, and he's in the pits again. I don't know what the prospect of him being able to catch me by the end is, but can't tell if he switched over to another set of softs there, or if it was a set of mediums. I guess it was probably a set of mediums. So there's maybe a chance I could still finish ahead of Felipe. He's got to get through quite a few cars in order to catch me. Yeah, I think if the engine was running anywhere near 100%, I'd probably be able to snag a point or two out of this, but not gonna happen today. Yeah, one thing I think Codemasters could do with the online, which would be interesting, since they have the championship mode, where it actually does track your progress and carries over from race to race, barring any kind of bugs or glitches or anything, which I'm sure would spark up. But in a perfect world, that'd be kind of cool if you actually had to manage your components through like an online league and through the online championship, so you sort of have like a partial, like you wouldn't have the R&D and all that stuff, because then that would just kind of create an unequal atmosphere. But you know, if you actually had to manage the components and based on the way you drove and all that, if you're too aggressive and ran in rich all the time, then you know you're just gonna blow up your engines, and then if you have to take new power unit components, you'd have to take the penalties just like you do in. Just like the drivers do in real life. Ah, nasty lockup. So we got a couple of seconds back to the torpedo. I'm sure he'll catch up to me fairly quickly here. And then there's a couple of second gap behind him back to P12.
Okay, we're ready for you. Box this lap.
So yeah, for anybody that might have just tuned in, I'm basically just nursing a Williams Honda here. Way down on power. Should have put a new engine in before qualifying. Wouldn't have taken any penalties or anything. It would have been in a much higher points paying position here. But yeah, I think there's pretty much not going to be a way for us to finish in the points, unfortunately. Oh god. Shouldn't be looking at chat. It's not during not during the middle of the corners. It still lets me go into mix 3, so I might try to defend from Kvyat. Try to hold that off for another lap or two. Not even really going to worry about tire wear. We're not making another pit stop, so yeah, this will be sort of a one of those hard lessons in the learning curve. not to go into qualifying with an engine that's already at like 50%, over 50% wear. And if we have to incur penalties and whatnot in the future races, then so be it. I'd rather have a fresh engine that I know that I can actually use to overtake people. Don't think I'm going to have to defend from Kvyat here, but so yeah, I may as well try to defend the position since this is the last point. If the engine explodes or Kvyat just gets past me, then obviously there's not much I can do. But may as well try to hold on to this position. Kvyat's just going to absolutely fly past me down the straight. Let's just defend fairly early here. Probably have a better chance of staying in position by breaking down the inside.
The turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
So I got the turbo, the MGUH, the ICE. We have everything falling apart here on this Williams. So yeah, we'll just keep it in standard through the middle sector here. Then whenever we get back around to sector 3, we'll put it back up into rich. Actually have a bit of a gap on him now, after kind of squeezing him wide going into turn 1. Alright, let's go ahead and go up into rich. Yeah, man, the entire freaking car is just falling apart. Didn't want to run that far wide there. Oh, just got to deal with it. Just gonna keep trying to do the same tactics here. Doesn't like he's gonna be completely alongside me like he was last time. Just run him wide again. Yeah, I think so long as the engine doesn't go pop or anything goes pop here, I think there's a slight chance we might be able to hold on to P10.
We're approaching the end of the life on these control electronics. Try to stay off the curbs and other rough surfaces.
Control electronics as well. Let's just go ahead and add to the tab even more, why not? Yeah, I mean considering it'll probably be Hartley and Gasly in the Toro Rosso. yeah, I feel
Don't forget, pit in this lap.
I feel quite bad for them. I'm not really too worried about chassis-wise, because I think James Key does a, I think that's his name, Chief Technical Officer at Toro, so I think he does a good job, actually. But yeah, I mean, unless Honda somehow just magically produce another 100 brake horsepower over the winter, I just don't think there's really much hope of anything for Toro Rosso. But yeah, I feel quite bad for the Red Bull Junior drivers, because they're going to have to drive around that probably shambolic of a power unit yet again. I really do hope that Honda can get their act together. I thought they were going to be able to come out at the beginning of 2017 here and be able to put on somewhat of a decent show. You know, I was thinking maybe Fernando. He was pretty close to getting some podiums in 2016. I was thinking maybe he would, you know, at least be in with a shout, you know, if some kind of a crazy race happens. All he needs is another Baku 2017 again. Yeah, I can imagine that some of the guys at McLaren are having a bit of trepidation after watching what happened to all the Renault power units in Mexico in this last weekend. Definitely can't fill you with confidence, that's for sure. And we're just going to defend to the inside yet again here. Got the chasing pack behind is closing in. So I think it is kind of a joke that that I'm able to just kind of park it down the inside every single lap, and Kvyat's not really willing to do anything else to try to overtake me here. I think barring, like I said, any of the components giving up, I think we should be okay to maybe stay in this 10th spot. Yeah, I have no idea really what Williams' path forward is. I mean, I know they have Paddy Lowe now, but the biggest problem is they just don't have any kind of a foundation whatsoever. Like the foundation they had at the beginning of 2014, they just carried over for the last 3 years. So I hope that they can get their act together in F1 in real life, but alright, so I think Kvyat's a bit closer this time than he has been. I should still hopefully be able to outbrake him, because we got, oh god. I don't know who in the world that was. Oh, it was Magnussen that decided to just run into the back of me. Considering I saw how much straight line speed Magnussen had there. Alright, you know what? We're gonna have to, wish I had a little bit more fuel to defend, but not sure if he would have picked up DRS there. He probably did.
Some information on Verstappen. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Oh, that might be our saving grace here, because I think we're probably going to lose the position to K-Mag down the pit straight. So where has Verstappen pulled over? Or has he actually pulled over? Should have taken the final corner there with a bit more speed, but
moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
Seb Vettel, just like in real life in Bahrain, managed to win the race here. So at least we have somebody besides Kimi winning the race. But so far, 3 for 3 for the Scuderia.
Caution, caution.
So we do have, oh wow, Verstappen. That's ridiculous. On the very last lap of the race as well. He had to pull over. That's just the epitome of kind of how his 2017 season in real life has gone until recently, when his reliabilities decided to get a little bit better. Alright, just going to run it in rich from here to the flag. I got the fuel to burn. I don't want K-Mag anywhere near me here if I can avoid it. Just got a massive train behind us now. K-Mag is going to be close, but awesome. So we, thanks to Verstappen, got an extra point. That was, oh my god, that was definitely a learning experience there. I'm never going to do that again. Man, that engine performance is just terrible. I don't even know how far ahead the Force India is finished.
From Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was like half a minute or more.
Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Well, this is it. This is where they all want to be. Here come the top 3 then, out onto the podium.
Yeah, I've got my shadow details turned on low. So apologies for that. It's just to try to gain a little bit more FPS. So if everybody's still watching, in case you missed it at the beginning of the broadcast, just want to mention my sim racing team, Avachronic Racing. We have a driver academy, so we're looking to
here's how things look in the driver's table.
We're looking to expand across pretty much every platform.
At the top of the championship. Moving on to the driver of
so if you're interested in possibly
who would you go for?
Let's give it to Kevin Magnussen. That was a commanding performance.
I'll just let them finish here. Start trying to talk over them.
And here's how things are shaping up in the
Come on,
Constructors'
Crofty.
Championship.
Hurry up.
Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings.
Yes. Okay.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it.
Appreciate the sub, Head Honcho.
Until next time, though, goodbye.
All right, thank you for finally ending your diatribe, Crofty. So yeah, if anyone out there hasn't heard it already, we have a ACR, sort of like a young driver academy thing. You don't necessarily have to be young, but just inexperienced driver academy. So whether you're interested in Race Room, R Factor 2, iRacing, F1, Gran Turismo, we're trying to look at broadening our horizons. And so yeah, if you either get in contact with me on Twitter, you know, any of that contact information that's in the description, feel free to get in contact with anybody if you interested whatsoever in joining our team. We're definitely looking to get into more things as we progress into 2018. Want to try to get either me or at least somebody within ACR to start going to the F1 esports stuff, as I'm sure that's going to continue on next season. So yeah, that's pretty much where we stand. P9 terrible race, but still 4th in the Drivers' Championship. Felipe's 9th, and obviously Red Bull pulled away a little bit in the Constructors, and Mercedes pretty much had no points in the first couple of rounds because they had no reliability. But I'm sure they're going to come back pretty strong. But we still got 15 points on Force India. So yeah, I'm sure our goal is going to be 4th or 5th in the constructors. And like I kind of predicted, 40 seconds was the gap up to the 30-40 seconds was the gap up to Perez. And yeah, I guess we can just hopefully next time we'll have some better. Well, not even hopefully, we will have better power unit next time. So we're not going to have to worry about that. And Russia should be a track that that should suit the Williams car. Yeah, I appreciate it, TD. Yeah, thanks for hanging around in chat and everything. So at least we still pulled away in the rivalry with Felipe. So we're still looking good there in terms of the team. So Force India, Renault, reputation fail, of course, because they absolutely stomped us today. But we'll get some revenge. We'll get them back, I'm sure, next week. In Russia, career mode score, blah blah blah. So yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end it today, guys. If you haven't subbed already, would appreciate you considering it. I also have a link to a donations page as well. So there's, as I'm sure maybe some of you saw, there's subscriber alerts. There's also a donation alert if you're if you ever consider at any point. I would appreciate it. So yeah, I'll be back in a couple of days, probably on Saturday, and we'll do round 4 at Russia with a brand new power unit across the board. So yeah, until then, I will catch you guys next time. Definitely not a Ben reference at all.